Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty rubbishy rack, 2 U's and an I. Pretty bad combination. But there is some balance between vowels and consonants, and I've got a scoring tile in the B. So I will probably be able to play through this through an O. I would have boudoir. It would be nice to play off 2 U's, but the priority is to play off at least one. Not too many options coming to mind. I'm just wondering what I would do if my opponent were to change. I guess I could play Buird, B-U-I-R-D, keeping O-U. I would have Rubius onto an S, which would get rid of both U's. I'm just wondering if there are other 2 U words, something like Urubu, but I'm not sure about that. My opponent taking a while with his opening move. I'd certainly be in some difficulty if he bingoed, because it's going to take more than one rack, more than one turn to sort this rack out. And if I change, I'll get no points. Okay, well, not a bingo, and I do have some floaters to consider. No S for Rubius. Let me just work my way down the floaters and see if anything comes to mind. Ah, I do have an O for boudoir. Yeah, I think that might be my preference. What about the C? Well, Curio keeping dub. Let me see what boudoir scores. 14 points. 14 points for Curio as well. Let me just put this back. Is there something through the C which is better than Curio? Certainly if I can get a play with the B and a U and the C and getting it doubled. Well, yes there is. There's cuboid. That's going to be better than boudoir. 22 points, rack leave better. RU, I'm going with this. I have the Q, but I also have a U, so that's a good thing. What I don't have is any vowels to go with it. Through an I would have squirrel, but the I of cuboid wouldn't give me a good score for that because it wouldn't be doubled and I'd be burning my S. Quite a tricky rack to deal with, because Q and U together is a good thing, but I don't want to burn my S cheaply. Now, I'm looking at the triple letter square to the left of the O, wondering if I've got to play QUO something. And annoyingly, I haven't. And also annoyingly, the other vowel next to, within reach of a premium square, is also an O. I might have some difficulty with this rack. And if I play squirrel through the I of cuboid, that's stopping one square short of row O. So maybe I will end up changing and keeping RS. Quite a few nice floaters on the board, if I get a half-decent pick. My opponent hasn't really provided anything, I don't think. Now, am I sure I don't have a QU play through the O? So I do have, well, I have Quinn, which is going to be better than Squirrel. Keeping L double RS and scoring 13 points. I don't like that because Quinn takes so many post hooks. It's gifting points to my opponent. I'm going to change. Slightly painful throwing back Q and U, but I think it's the right thing. Well, still a troublesome rack with only one vowel. But I think this is a rack I can play through just. I've got Volt on my rack. If I can leave myself with 3 consonants, not 4, then I think this is okay. 4 consonants is asking for trouble. Now my opponent's taken out the floating O, which was looking quite useful. My V can go after Geo and in front of OR. So do I have any OV plays in column 6? No. DE takes a V after it as well. Well, the same problem. I don't have anything ending OV. I could play Volts and Heroics. Only 21 points. I'm 50 points behind, so a slow start to this game. I could play Proved. I could play Volt and Hayet. That's quite nice. Keeping PRS. Oh, well, Volt plays here for even more. And doesn't give much away, so 23 points. Continuing the theme of only one vowel, which is certainly better than no vowels, but it means that I'm unlikely to bingo, so I'm vulnerable to my opponent bingoing. There's also a risk with so many vowel-light racks at the beginning of the game that towards the end of the game I'll be dealing with vowel-heavy racks, which are also non-bingo-y. Anyway, my opponent hasn't got a massive lead, just 50 points, and I'm on turn. There may be a play beginning DEL, which appears later. I certainly don't have it at the moment. So, how to sort this rack out? No floating vowels on the board. My D can go after BE, but nothing goes after HON. My P can go in front of HON. ED looks nice, but it's hard to make a play which then has a letter after ED. So what about Warp down here? I think this achieves everything. Good rack leave, splits up the duplicate R. Scores over 20 points, doesn't give too much away. 2 vowels, brilliant. What can I do with this? Can't see a bingo. But if I played Dud, I'd be keeping quite a nice 4-letter set. Just wondering about Deldrins, but that doesn't quite reach the triple. I think I may be confusing it with Dieldrins in any event. Disinured is good through an I and an E. Now I've got the un prefix and the dis prefix, so I would have disearned through an E. Very few floaters on this board. In fact, there may actually be none. As in single floaters, a few 2-letter pairs. Which I think is a good thing when I haven't got a bingo. It limits my opponent's prospects of bingoing. I'm just wondering about sun-dried as an anagram of disearned. Slightly unsure of both of those. Bez takes nothing after it. Fantastic score for my opponent, 73 points. So I can play Druid down here for 36 points and an okay 2-letter rack leave. So I'll go with this. No vowels, but I do have the Y, which is a quasi-vowel and should enable me to play. Wow, nice score for my opponent, 39 points. He hasn't needed a bingo to move into a pretty good lead. So I can play Preedy, which scores well, 28 points. A decent rack leave, provided I pick up vowels, but vulnerable to consonants. And I'm opening up a new bingo lane in column 14, albeit at the expense of taking out an even better one in column 14, because hay takes a number of useful post hooks. However, I'm not sure I can do better than Preedy in terms of score and rack leave on this board. Although what would be better would be to play in the bottom left to open up more bingo lanes. Because if my opponent shuts this down, then I'm in the position of having no bingo lanes and having to open them, at which point my opponent just shuts them down, so this isn't ideal. However, Preedy is the bingo lane open in column 14 is pretty difficult to shut down. So I think I will go with this, and I have got row M as a bingo lane for bingos ending S something. Z was a great move for my opponent. It not only did it score massively, but it took out the row N bingo lane for bingos ending S. I don't draw the vowels I was hoping for, but that's not too surprising. Great, opponent challenges. He loses 5 points. I'm just 60 points behind. Column 15 is a bingo lane for bingos ending ID, such as bingos ending oid. This board does not have many hotspots. My opponents managed to score well with the Z and the X, but as a whole, this board is not particularly good for hotspots, which means that my opponent may slow down. Or he may open a hotspot which I can benefit from with the B and the F. I don't think there are any 8-letter bingos with these tiles. Well, my opponent has opened the board, but not really with vowels, and it's vowels that I'm looking for. However, what I can do is play boff. I don't think I've got a slightly longer word with the B or the F on the double letter square, but this has worked out quite well. I'm getting rid of my two non-bingo-y tiles, the F and the B, and I'm opening up a new bingo lanes in column 4 and row N. And the score's over 20 points. Again, if I pick up vowels, I could be in a very strong position, both blanks unplayed. Now, is untrust good? I think it is. Does it play anywhere? Well, it would have played if flap hadn't been played and boff hadn't been played in row M. Boff takes an O and an S after it. But at the moment, untrust doesn't play. I think onto a Y it would make untrusty. So, a tricky rack to deal with. But I do have vowels. What I don't have is any scoring tiles. Yep, nice play by my opponent. Bingo, 77 points. He's now got 140-point lead. Does untrust play? Nope. Do I have a bingo through the A or the L? No. But I think playing tune is better than changing. Rack leave is okay. There's no more U's to come. There is still a Q to come. And I'm opening up new bingo lanes. Is there any way to do better than that? If I played 2-2 somewhere, I'd be keeping NRS. Well, I think I prefer Rust. Can I score more? No, I think I like this. I like opening up the lanes, and I think the bingo, the rack leave is okay. Finally, the rack I've been looking for, I will be bingoing. However, I'm 130 points behind, and my opponent's on turn, so it may be too little too late. However, what can I do? Firstly, do I have a bingo beginning or ending in T? Well, I've got the EST ending. Through a C or an L, I would have Rauclest. Only 17 for my opponent. That's good. He's taken out the floaters in a lonely. So I'm going to run through the alphabet. I'm looking for bingos with the T. I haven't seen anything yet. I've got 11 minutes on my clock. So I have a butters, but I'm looking in particular for bingos which begin or end with a T. But I do have a butters. And this also makes the 7-letter place Serbate, which does play in column 14, but not doubled. And Bursate in the same spot. Statured, again not beginning or ending with a T. Austera through an R. Looks promising, but I can't see anything. Can't see anything there with the T. 10 minutes on my clock. Lustrate. Doesn't work. Maturest. Yay, finally. Maturest, I do have one. And I think I will play this. If I found any other bingo, it wouldn't score anymore, and I'd rather play at the top of the board than the bottom, because playing at the top opens a new bingo lane and keeps the row N bingo lane open. So Maturest for 74. The cue appears back on my rack after having worked my way through, I think, all 4 U's. So what can I do with it? I've got the J as well, and there's a ton of I's to come. And I've got an O for going underneath Boff. I'm 60 or 70 points behind. So it'd be nice to score well with my high-scoring tiles. All of the U's are unavailable. Maturest, Tune, Cuboid and Druid. So where can I score well with the J? And I think I need to prioritise the J, because I don't think there's anything available with the Q at the moment. Still 3 A's to come, so if I did have a play beginning JO at N1, my opponent is likely to have to be able to play underneath it. However, Boffo only takes an S, so he'll probably be limited to a 2-letter word, which isn't too dangerous. I note that if I had a T and there are 2 to come, I would have cats in column 5 for a decent score. Well, my opponent's just gone there. And he's now got a 100-point lead, 15 tiles to come. Nine minutes on my clock. So where can my J or my Q play? And these V's are pretty blocky, not helpful tiles. So I could play Joel. 31 points. But then I'm burning the O, which can go underneath Boff, and there's only 1 O to come. And I'm providing a super hot spot in column 15, which with 3 A's and O's to come is pretty accessible for my opponent. 8 minutes on my clock. I could play Javel in row B. That doesn't score very much. At the moment, I'm just looking for anywhere for my J. So what about playing Joel here? 35 points, which is a decent score. I'm opening up 2 triple word squares. The rack leaves okay, but not great. Can I do better? I don't think so. I think 35 is a decent score. And I do draw an eye for my cue. So where can I play it? Well, nowhere. Or nowhere good. I've got chi and pi, but it doesn't score very much, and there are still 3 eyes unseen, so my opponent has probably got one, and it would just be gifting him a decent score. I'm only 60 points behind at the moment, but I must be a massive underdog in this game. So all the U's, annoyingly, very inaccessible, because I do have Makwi and Umiak through one of them. So maybe don't play the cue this turn. I'm not sure. Wow, another bingo for my opponent. That's pretty good going, and I think that seals the game for him. My cue can go next to the I. So I could play chi, chi, and in. Wow, look at the remaining tiles, still all pretty bingo-y. My M can go next to the M. 7 minutes on my clock. Only 278 points. What a grim game this has been. I wonder how many howling errors I've made. I think I will play chi. It scores okay. The game is lost. The rack leaves okay. It is obstructing my opponent bingoing again in column 15. I'm retaining the M for going next to MM. There's no particular merit in hanging on to the Q, and I can't see anywhere else to play it. Quite a nice rack. MIOCs through an E. No floaters on this board. I'm just wondering if there's there's the V and A of Vors. Can't see anything with the V. Can't see anything with the A. And pretty much no 2-letter sets to consider. However, my opponent does have an N, so he can make chin. If he doesn't take that spot, I do have an S for playing down here, so I could play a miss. And if he does play at the top, then I can probably place my M next to the M of Intimi. I think he's unlikely to take out both triple word squares. But credit to him if he manages that. I think he must be pretty close to a bingo with the V and the A. Only one E to come, so if he places it here, I can play MIOCs. Six minutes on my clock, 8 on my opponent's. So what do I have with my M next to the M? Well, not very much, because only the S goes after PA. Okay, great. Well, I didn't have anything particularly good down there. My opponent hasn't bingoed. And I can play a miss. I can see what my opponent's got. He's got Nat and Tang. And he can play Nat and Tang next to In. And he can also play Tang and ET. So I can't stop him from going out. What I can do is play a miss for 40 points. So just waiting for my opponent to play out. I'm sure he will, but were he not to, then I certainly can. I've got Vo and Evo and OE, Mo and AE. And probably other things as well. Yep, OE, Ho, Delhi. Okay, my opponent has gone out past to end the game. And the final score, 342 to me, 483 to my opponent, a winning margin of 141 points. So, well done to my opponent, a big victory for him. Let's see what I missed. So, it was my opponent to go fast. He played Heroic. This was my rack, and I played Cuboid. That looks best. My opponent's rack, he has Renegado. Doesn't spot it. Plays a dog. Now, Suck. Suck and Cuboid. Cuboids. Although the rack leave is dreadful, that is probably better than changing. And K9 Suck. SQ for 24. Well, it's not worth sacrificing 12 points to retain the U. So I think Suck and Cuboids was the play there. Opponent plays Hay. Now, M8. Okay, making Heroics. That's quite nice. 38 points, a decent score. What did I do? I played Volt for 23. Retaining the S. Okay, probably not a huge amount between those. Opponent plays Gen. What did I do here? I played Warp for 24, and I still like that. Opponent plays Z. Did he have anything even better? Well, possibly Zax, but Z is fine. Yeah, Z is nice because it, well, I was going to say it has the possibility of placing the X underneath the E, but I think he would struggle to have the X there and get it tripled. Anyway, this was my rack. I played Druid. That looks fine. Opponent's rack, he plays Zai, or Chai, however you pronounce that. Now this is my rack, and I played Preedy for 28, and I still like that. Opponent's rack, he plays Flap. I'm 80 points behind, and I played Boff for 24. I could have got 8 more points. I think at this stage of the game, I still like to keep the S, even though there aren't really any 7-letter lanes for S-ending bingos. Nice bingo by my opponent, a Lonely, a few other choices available. My rack, and I played Tune for 12, and I like that. Opponent plays Cat, and now finally I have a decent rack, but I'm 150 points behind. And what do I play? Nothing that's down on that list. I play Maturus for 74. Okay, and row N plays score slightly more, but open up triple word squares, so I prefer Maturist, which leaves available row N and also opens up new bingo lanes in rows A and B. Opponent plays Vors, and, well, my goose is pretty much cooked at this point. There's only 15 tiles to come, but I'm stuck with the J and the Q. N2, Joel. Well, I played Joel, and I like that the E isn't a particularly good tile to have with the Q. Now, nice bingo by my opponent. And I play the Q here for 24 points to get rid of it. Amis H15. Well, that empties the bag. And I'm not going to be able to go out in one, so that may be better than QI, but it's fairly artificial at this stage because the game is so lost. Opponent's rack, he doesn't have a bingo. He plays nicer. and I play a miss for 40. What I could have gotten was Oasis for 46. Where's that? Oh, wow, look at that. Underneath Joel. Very nice for 6 more points. However, the rack leave is 6 points worse after count back, so Oasis and a miss are identical. But it would still have been nice to have spotted. And finally, opponent goes out with Tang, which he couldn't have done after Oasis, so in fact Oasis would have been a better play. So a pretty brutal game. Lots of tricky racks to deal with, very few easy racks and just the one bingo. But Scrabble games ebb and flow in terms of the tiles that you draw and the racks that you have. So games like this will come up all the time, and it's helpful to have games like this and play through them to improve your skills at dealing with some of the drossy stuff that came up in this game. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.